So it runs. Well, it ran. While I was letting it idle there and get up to temp, I've noticed that I have an oil leak and a coolant leak. The coolant leak I somewhat expected. The coolant leak is from my bigger heater core hose, and the problem with that is to fit over the heater core, I had to grind out some of the rubber from the inside of the hose, and I must have nicked it, and it's leaking like a sieve from there. So what I'm probably going to do is, since the heater cores are brass or copper, whatever they're made of, I'm actually probably going to get a plumbing fitting that fits either like a 1/2-inch MPT fitting, and I'll screw it in, and then I'll make a solid connection there, and I'll solder it to the heater core itself. We'll go from there. You can already see I got the whole intake manifold off, which I hate stripping that manifold off. It sucks. Sorry if I keep looking away. World Cup Finals is on. I hope you're watching it. And Volkswagen just caught on fire. So it's either the valley plate or it's either the oil pressure switch. I'm more leaning to the oil pressure switch, which I'm going to pop out now. I got the valley cover off, and I don't see anything with the gasket. The gasket's brand new on this, and it's metal and rubber. So I don't foresee it being this. I'm going to pop the oil pressure switch out now. Now the thing that sucks about the LS is it takes a special fucking socket. A bit of a little bit of E85 and coolant in there. Well, that's probably my leak right there. I hate these things right here too. Now, this is a generic Honeywell PSI sensor. I think it was good for 150 PSI. Now, most of your companies, Holley, AEM, whoever, redo Honeywell sensors. I mean, they just relabel it. And add $60, $70 on it. I think I got this from... God, I can't remember the name of the website. It's just one of those generic websites, but I hope that gave you long enough to get that part number. I can't think of the website, but you can find these for like $75. So it's better than spending $150 per PSI sensor. I have 2 or 3 of these things. They're great. What I'm going to do is, now, I didn't use an adapter fitting for this. What I did was my old oil pressure sensor was broken. So what I did was I just broke out all the plastic and I tapped it for 1/8-inch NPT. I'm going to take that out. I'm going to reseal it. Obviously this was, I don't know what the hell I was doing. I don't know if I just stuck this in the hole so nothing got in there and just completely forgot about it. But she was leaking like a bitch.
On spot. Right now it's 11:06, of course, pending fuel check and weight checks and all.
Well, that's loose too. This just has a crush washer type of... So you can see it's just the factory sensor drilled out to 1/8-inch MPT. What I'll do is I'll just seal this all back up and pray that was all. Now remember what I said about Teflon tape. Don't use it. Teflon paste is so much better. And honestly, I've had this jar, whatever you want to call this bottle, too much, way too much. I probably had this bottle 2 years already. So, who knows what happens there. It's probably my mess up. I mean, of course it's my mess up. Nobody really works on this car but me. As you can see, I do 99% of the work to it. 99.9, I would say. I don't have much help ever coming over. Should be fun at the track when it's me and maybe my wife if she's not working. That's one of the reasons why that's probably the top 5 reasons why I don't want to do any class racing, is because I can't find any good help, to be truthfully honest.
Engine management systems, the baddest, the best engine management systems out there. I know this one day my car will be done and it has one on it, so I'm excited to bring that one out eventually.
Hey, y'all saw me tighten that one. I'm going to do the same on the sensor. Now you want to be careful with the sensor because you don't want to get all this crap clogging the sensor. You don't need a ton of this. Big proponent in using OEM gaskets. I've had just too many problems with aftermarket gaskets and crapping out. I try to use 99% of the crap I buy OEM. You can see it from my starter and crank sensor why it's better. You know, 5 freaking cranks and those both died. So imagine how cheap their gaskets are. Cordless impact for the house. My Makita pretty much bit the bullet. I mean, it was like 15 years old. I'm thinking about going all Milwaukee for the house just because of everything they offer. I have all Mako at work. I don't know, but I need to do something because this hand crap is for the birds. If I had a nice harness, I would just run it on the outsides of the intake manifold. Like if I'm talking about a really nice mil-spec harness, I would run it on the outside of the fuel rails. But this pile of shit that you received from Megasquirt, I don't even want to look at it now. I mean, this harness is such a piece of junk. It works, kind of. But I mean, like a child built this harness. So at that rate, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I hate it. I mean, I built better on my coil harness here. They went as cheap as you possibly can with split plastic loom, and it's that. So what I'm doing is, mine's ran down the center of the valley. Now the problem with that is, it kind of makes it a pain in the butt to work on. I had this thing all zip tied up last time I put the intake manifold on, and I've realized that was a mistake. So this time I'm not zip tying it up, I'm just laying it in there where the wires should be, and we're going to go from there. I'm going to change my coil harnesses because it's just too much going on in the back of the motor. So I'm going to change my coil harnesses out to center ones, center plug ones. I don't know who makes a good one yet. I gotta look up. I don't want stockers because they look just as bad as this freaking harness. So 1, 3, 5, 7. I wrote, since nothing's really labeled, I don't know if you can tell, but I took a Sharpie and just wrote the cylinder numbers on these plugs for the injectors. It just makes it that much easier, my opinion. So this one's pretty much where it needs to be. I gotta put this ground back on over here. And, come on. Plug my oil pressure sensor back in. Come on. Now another crap thing about Mega Squirt, I think I've gone over this before, but you have to use one of your very limited inputs for oil pressure. Pretty much the thing that really turned me off on this system was that something standard you had to use as an addition. Ridiculous. I can't wait to rip this whole thing out of my car and sell it and upgrade. I don't know if I'm going Holley or Fuel Tech. I don't know yet. The guy I'm going to be tuning the car is great with MS3 Pro stuff, but I don't want to pull out one MS3 for another MS3. So we're going to go from there pretty much. I don't know. Out of the way, Tubby. Oh, there's a bumper now.
You want help?
Grab that other side of that. You got it? There wasn't a bumper before. It fit.
There goes Ryan Schnitz. Top back on a Hello 674, 213 miles an hour.
Oh.
Jason Duggan, 800 to 11.
Harness, harness. Corey, harness.
Next up will be
How many people does it take to put an intake
Z
on?
Motorsports. Number 6 and a 687. He's out of Fredericksburg. Take it on to perhaps
More harness problems here?
I can't.
You hold it.
Of this generation over the last 5 years.
We got a couple more harness problems back here.
Chairman
Pull
Teasley.
that connector over there. In the way.
On the right-hand
Speaking of
side.
that, where's the other close back connector?
I got, you know.
You're on a lot of crap.
But no, I mean, I got my map sensor, my fuel lines, my
Manchester, Connecticut.
flex fuel sensor.
One out of
I got shit underneath mine, but
and managed all the way to the
it
number
ain't
2
that hard.
qualifying spot.
let's go.
Okay guys, as you can see, it's all back together again, and you see how much of a nightmare it is just to take that intake manifold off and put it back on. It's a huge pain in the ass. It's not something I like doing, and it's something that will get fixed one day. As much as I like the high ram, love this intake manifold, I want to be able to put my stock hood on the car. I think it would be pretty cool to put a stock hood on the car and have nothing sticking out of it. So I'll probably get the Holley Race Sniper manifold one day, but when that happens, I got to redo intercooler piping. I got to redo my steam port, and I don't know how much room. I think they have enough room to keep the harness under there. But that's another thing I want to change one day. And that's something that'll get changed before the intake manifold. I probably will end up with a Holly in the car. That's the way I'm leaning. It's not going to be this year. It probably won't be next year. But, you know, unless I come across a crazy good deal and I somehow have $2,000 in my hand to spend. But that's the route I'll probably go, is with a Holly. There's just too many people that have it where you could always get help somewhere. And that's pretty much the main reason. I don't know. But it's all back together. Fired it up. I put it outside and fired it up. And I was quite surprised at how even quieter this downpipe is. Outside, me and my friends were sitting there right next to the exhaust having a conversation. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not quiet like I got a muffler on it and the exhaust goes all the way out the back. But for being a 4-inch jump that's only 5 feet of pipe, I can have a conversation next to it. And it makes me even more happy that I put a radio in the car, because I'll be able to hear that damn thing. So I don't see any oil leaking out of it. I haven't seen any oil leaking out of it. I still have to address the coolant issue. I haven't gotten to that part yet, because I've been running around doing things in the house. I also put a new drive belt on it, one size shorter than what I had. And I don't think that I can go any smaller. My tensioner is 3/4 of the way maxed out, and if I go one size smaller, the tensioner will be completely maxed out. If I have a problem with this, they do sell a manual tensioner that bolts in the same spot. I'm pretty sure I saw that on ICT's website, and if I have to go that route, I go that route, but I won't. I hopefully it doesn't squeak. It didn't. It squeaked for a half a second on startup when I put it on, but it didn't squeak after that. So I was wondering if it's just crap on the pulleys or whatever. That's done. Now I don't have much to do to take this car around a block. I'm really pushing to drive this car at least around the block this year, under its own power. I'm playing with weather. We're supposed to get snow tomorrow, and then it's supposed to rain, so hopefully there'll be that month that always happens where there's nothing, because I probably have about 2 weeks of stuff before I can take this around the block. So I'm going to work on that stuff. I got a whole list. It's a bunch of little bits and pieces of nonsense. I don't need to do all of them to drive it, but it's still a long list of crap that needs to be done. Like usual, guys, get in the garage. It's starting to get a little chilly. It's just about 60 degrees in my garage now. Crack that cold beer. I'm about to grab one out of the fridge because I got some work to do, which I'm going to record for you guys. And get working on your hot rod, guys. All right, have a good night.